awesome up there.
Welcome to the Morning Skate Show with the hockey coach, Guru Coach Frenchy and Michael from the Florida. And we have to go all the way to the West Coast to find Michael Nedeljkovic. Welcome back and welcome, everybody. It's happy Wednesday, middle of the week, November 10, 2021. And a lot of stuff happening in the last 24 hours, some fun ways. And we're going to go through this today. And that's what happened. Very quiet night tonight. So 10 games to cover this morning. Couple of news around the league. And a lot of game on OT yesterday. And it was the Jarmo Virtanen goal prediction yesterday. All the game was 3-2, Michael.
All of them. Well, I don't know. There was some.
Oh, but you know what I mean? Like, you have a lot of the 10 game, like, the score was 3-2 left and right.
So. Good morning to Canadian Giant, who was here first. Adam Berger, 2 goals in a minute 39 for Vegas, and the third 4 goals for Vegas last night were from defensemen. Well, they don't have any forwards left, do they? They have a lot of guys injured. Yeah. Good morning. Good morning. I don't know who Everton is. Oh, everyone. Okay. Good morning to Roger Delaney and our friend Antti Koivula. Good morning to our other Finnish friend, Jarmo Virtanen, who Pierre's already referenced was right about the score so many times. And Chainsaw Man is here. And thank you. Good morning, Canadian Giant again. He says good morning to Coach and Michael. So many stories. I feel like the NHL is a nonstop soap opera at the moment. It's kind of unfortunate. It's kind of crazy. Well, the first one that I guess is in some ways is surprising and is not surprising was Carey Price came back a little bit earlier than people expected. It's been real kind of quiet about what's been going on. He kind of revealed that, his entry into the NHL player assistance program, which I kind of wondered was related to substance abuse. And I'm not sure what substance or how long, but, it's kind of weird. Like, he's such a model citizen for a lot of people. And it shows you that just even a guy that his team relies upon so much can have this sort of a problem.
Yep.
So we hope that, the player assistance program is like the first step. I'm sure this is going to be an ongoing thing for him, that he's just got to it's good that he's revealing it, I think, in some ways, because it would have come out either way. Also that maybe it's, something that he was probably hiding in the shadows, and I'm sure his family.
The goaltender, Stephen Waite, worked with him for 8 years?
Yeah.
He said yesterday he never heard anything. He did not know.
Wow.
So this was personal. This was at home. This was in the black hole. This was behind the wall. This was only person was Angela, his wife.
Yeah.
And sometime as a couple, you have always someone suffer. You have always someone try to do the best to cover everything. Yeah. And I have to give also credit for her because she never mentioned anything or whatever happening. So sometime, it's sad, but sometimes you have to pay the price. Sometimes when pay the price with the pressure you got every single day, what you have to perform what as an athlete, and you cannot want to have any disappointment. And the only way sometimes you have to go another way to, that remind me a little bit the story of Tiger Woods at some point, Michael.
Yeah, in a sense, right?
Yeah, so athletes. They have their moment, the glorified moment, or they have to be on the spotlight for days, and then they're hiding after that, and they disappear, and they have this fun, fun things they apply on their body, on the likes, whatever it is, and that's for me. Can compare that way with, and again, I'm not said that's not fun problem they have, but it's the same situation on my eyes where they have to perform every single day, and then unfortunately the pressure they have to carry on is very difficult. And again, it's fun athlete, Michael. We see them wearing a number, a jersey, a logo, a name in the back, but honestly, we stand up when they are going gold, right, or they perform at their high level potential they are, and with skill, talent, and then we boo them when they are again good performance. By the end of the day, we don't know who they are. We don't know how they grow and how they become during those times. We don't know the live at the end of the day,
Very true.
and that's the way for me. It's like that reflect on me. So before you, it's hard to sometimes we as a fan we respond with sometime again an accolade. Oh, he did a bad thing. Oh, he did like
Yeah.
hey, he did. And at the end
Yeah.
of the day,
Easy to do.
yeah, it's easy. Exactly. That's the way. So for me, personally, for me, I would say, wish the best for him. At the end of the day, he's a human being,
Right.
and also at the end of the day, Michael, he did the right decision, and it's never too late, right? It would
But
be 34, 29, but again, 16, 15 years in NHL with nobody know about this is pretty
like how
amazing.
long, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like it's really frightening to know. And you said it's never too late, but sometimes it is too late. Like sometimes we've seen people in hockey, like most recently was the other VC brother, right? Or not the VC brother,
Talk about Hayes.
Hayes, the Hayes brother, right? Like
Yep.
so there's a guy that it's out the window.
31 years old.
31, and that could have been
Life,
very fine.
you think about this, kids, wife, right?
Crazy.
And then after that, you have players. Michael never talk about this, and look, Joe Murphy.
Well, that is insanely, and that relates again, I think, Pierre, to painkillers, and it relates to playing injured
Yeah,
and with head injuries specifically. And this is a guy that developed, same thing. He's living in the woods somewhere and won't come out. And that's no joke. That's not like an exaggeration. That's exactly what's going on. It's scary. And we've had
yep,
guys like Wade Belak, we've had Mark Ripien. Like these are recent problems. This is no joke. So I'm glad he got help. I hope, I don't believe that with something like that just magically goes away in 30 days. And I hope he just keeps getting help that he needs and that this brings him out of it because,
he's on the process right now, Michael. It's called the fourth step.
yeah,
So you have fun thing you have to do: go to gym and play
yeah,
back on the ice 1-on-1, and
play
then
again.
go all
Yeah.
the way like this. So, like I always mention, it's 45 days, 60 days, maybe a little bit longer, but he's on the way to come back, and that's the best thing for him. Where he belong is to be on the ice, and we wish the best for him.
Yeah, and Canadian Giant references John Cordick, which is a pretty crazy, tragic story. In those days, there was like really crazy steroid problems and other, drug problems on top of that. And there was a guy, and what was crazy, I remember at one point, they roomed him with Brian Fogarty. I forget what team that was. And Brian Fogarty was an alcoholic, like, and had substance abuse, and he died like in a trailer. Like, it's crazy the stuff that we see. Like, you can't make everyone healthy, but we have to have a better overall culture. I mean, I hope like I'm glad that he got help. I don't believe it's like the end. I think he's got to keep working on it. And if he stops playing and there's going to be other challenges in his life, like he's almost at the end of his career. Like realistically, like he's been 15 years. So, that's a challenge for people too, right? I hope Price is getting the help he needs. Yeah, life first before sports. Agreed. And I think the pressure of being in Montreal, the pressure of the big contract, the pressure of everything is probably part of it. Um, I've never seen face-off penalty called. I haven't. I'm not familiar with this. We can talk about it. Kevin Stevens. I mean, here was another one where his face was smashed, and it just led to this spiral that ends up in this crazy drug problem. Probert, like it just goes on and on. We definitely have kind of a unfortunate. It's not everybody, but there's a definite legacy. Look at the problems Jared Stahl and Mike Richards had.
Yeah, back to Given Seven. It's another one where it is. First of all, thanks, Stefan. I think it's the first time. Well, welcome
Yeah,
back if you are. I think for me is the NHL save him. Mario Lemieux and someone else, an organization,
him.
Pittsburgh. I don't know who he was. They saved him. He was really in the old at some point, and you talk about Charlie Simmer and Los Angeles King. That's another one. But my point to you, he came back. So that's a good, you know what I mean? Like he show up now, he's assistant coach and he's in part of the hockey now and everything like that. So at the right time, maybe at the end of the end, he figure out and he come back. So congratulations, Kevin Steven. But yeah, great name over there. They have some other thing higher, which changed some men. I don't know if you saw that.
I think maybe he regrets his big contract now. He was talking
Next
about
one.
going to Seattle. So he was saying like he thought he wanted to go to Seattle and that the contract prevented that. But I think when we saw them protect Jake Allen and expose him, Montreal knew what was going on. So they probably made Seattle aware or and said, don't, he's going through challenges.
I don't
I would
think so,
think,
Dinu.
you don't think so?
No, not at all.
Really? I'm surprised that even because it was very shortly after that, like he didn't get picked and then he went into the program.
Not really, Michael, because you remember this happened on July 27,
That's true.
the draft,
Yeah.
in July, this, and then he get out like only 1 week, 2 weeks before the season start. So I don't see relate over there. I think the only reason he's not with his Seattle Kraken today, where I think Ron Francis he prayed and said thanks God because the only reason he did not pick is Francis managed a salary cap really tight,
He
and
did.
he did not want any player over $7-8 million on his roster. You can see what happening. He was preferred to go on UFA, pick it up. And his mind, Michael, it was more about Gruber and Drager. I think they have already select a couple of players already during the winter time, Michael. Okay, we have 5 goaltender on the whiteboard. We have 12, 15 defensemen. Some of them are UFA. Let's run after them. If he walks, boom, boom, boom. I think that's the way I see that.
Yeah. I think we have a lot of other stories to touch on, but it's good that this came out. It's good he got help, and I think it's just something that hopefully he gets support for going forward. Because I just don't. I mean, I think it's unfortunate. I'm glad they caught it before something tragic. Because I think in the chat, like they're listing off so many examples of tragedies. Daryl Bugard, Probert, like Kevin Stevens. You go down the line. Good morning to Stefan Manberg. Thank you for joining us, and thank you for Stephen Dacey for your continued comments. Good morning, Pharrell Among Us, and good morning to Kelly. Price is too high. Coach is right, and he's 34. I'm sure I think you're probably right. That was a big part of it. It wouldn't surprise me if they knew something was going on then, but it just seemed very about face. It was kind of, who knows? It's hard to say, but you're right. Maybe they didn't know. Maybe he kept it secret till then. All right. So, other crazy story, which is probably the best ending that I can think of to this one, is after the Chicago Blackhawks thing, we heard about this case of the Pittsburgh Penguins. Actually, we'll touch first of all. There was this other incident where there was a female goalie at a high school team in Pittsburgh, and there were some really vile taunts by the opposing school's fans. They put that school on probation, and they've banned the fans from games going forward. And the Pittsburgh Penguins hosted a game that was refereed by 2 female referees, and Mike Matheson's wife, Emily Matheson, who I believe she played NCAA hockey, maybe even Olympics. I can't remember. She won a gold medal with the United States. That's Mike Matheson, the defenseman there. They were kind of commenting on this, but they played this game. The girl who was the goalie that was taunted has remained anonymous, which is fine. I think that's actually probably good. She would have got a lot of attention. And so the Penguins did a positive thing here, I think, supporting her and coming out against that type of behavior, which it just blows my mind that this stuff still happens. Like, I don't get what the freak is. I know they're kids, but come on, like, this is ridiculous. Then we also heard that the case that came out after the Chicago Blackhawks scandal, which involved Jared Scaldi and his wife, and Clark Donatelli, got settled. So that sounds like that puts to bed another black eye. Like, what a terrible incident, but I'm glad that there's some sort of resolution to this. So they seem to be thankful that it was resolved. I don't know if there's much to talk about this, but I don't know. We got to employ better people, Pierre.
And this is not NHL. It's more like American Hockey League. Honestly, what happening
Is, but it's an
at that
affiliate
moment.
Penguin.
It was more like the assistant coach, right, in American Hockey League, and the assistant coach. Bill Guerin is still not the GM right now because that situation. I don't know he's going to be reinstalled after that, but look like this is over. and
Is,
they move on both parties.
wait, you're saying Bill Guerin is not the GM in Minnesota?
He been only assistant GM, so they put him down a little bit.
Oh, you're saying in Pittsburgh.
No, in Minnesota. You can see Bill Guerin is not around. He's not talking anymore about the team for over like 1 month ago.
Oh, you say he's been very quiet.
Oh, they name another someone as a GM, and he just put him as a drop down a little bit just during that case
Oh, I
over
didn't
there.
even know that.
Yeah, it
But
was
he's
not
still listed.
publicly announced like people, he just put a quick release by the Minnesota Wild on Twitter,
Really?
the public relationship, the PR.
Because that's interesting. I'm just taking a look on their website. So is he completely removed, you're saying, from this?
No, not removed. He's still a part of the game, the team, but they don't have the big role at that moment.
I'm just taking a look at that. Because on their website, he's still listed as the general manager.
Oh, yeah.
So you're saying he's just been taking a step back in his duties?
Around this, yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah.
Interesting. I had not heard that.
It was a quick memo on the Twitter by the Minnesota Wild. It was funny by the PR Twitter, not for the Minnesota Wild. Yeah, but a quick statement, Minnesota, everything.
Good morning
Like
to
a long time
Vallejo.
ago, like 6 weeks ago.
I'll have to look for that. It's interesting. I didn't hear that. So that was very quiet. I think I said good morning to Stefan Manberg. And then our friend Eagle Fang Sports is here. So we're appreciative of you. We're appreciative of Vallejo. Steven says, I forgot one of the most obvious to play Montreal was Chris Nyland. A lot of the fighters had problems, obviously. I think you have to be a little. Kai Lindstrom. Komarov is going to the KHL in St. Petersburg. Oh, that's interesting. All right, so then yesterday we saw yet another drama, unfortunately, unfold in Anaheim, and we don't know the details of this yet, but we know that the general manager, and I think he was VP or president also of the organization, Bob Murray, placed on administrative leave while they investigate accusations of improper professional conduct. And Jeff Solomon will fill in the role. So I don't know what to make of this because we don't know the details of it. I guess we'll find out.
So what happening after the case of the the Chicago Blackhawks? Gary Bettman sent a memo to everybody in NHL. If you hear something, if you know something, whatever happened, we have the hotline, whatever it is, and open up, talk to us, everything like that. So what happening? Bob Murray, he's a guy treat everybody inside the office like not very nice. So bad words, bad behavior, everything like that. And that was reported by some people in front of the front office and the last couple of days. And now the Anaheim Ducks got those complaints, and now they make an action for right now to investigate. It's not coming from NHL. This is coming from the team. Personally, the Anaheim Ducks hired their own investigation people to check about Bob Murray behavior for the last couple of years. Now you have someone, Michael, in NHL. His name was not report, but he works in NHL. Work with them. He said Bob Murray is not nice, like bad words. Like yeah, one start with the F, one start with the A, and he said finally he was going to pay the price. So I don't know what happened with that, but yeah. So I don't know personally, right? He's been there for over, it's him, Doug Wilson, many years with David Puel. You know what I mean? He's not like a 3 years contract there. He's like forever.
It's been a long time, Pierre. He's been there forever.
Yeah.
He's 66 years old. He was with the Blackhawks. He was the general manager there. He was an assistant under Bob Pulford. So he's been around a long time. He's old school. Played 1,000 NHL games. I was surprised to see his record in 14 seasons is 5'11", 357. That was interesting. Because I feel like they've been floundering for so long. But yeah, I don't know. Interesting. it's a bit of a reckoning if you've been doing some bad stuff, right? So yeah, all right. Well, thanks, Bob. Hopefully things work out in Anaheim and they get their situation straight. If he's not a good person to be in there, then put someone in who is. You know, I think again it
It's
goes
sad
back to
because
we
the
got
team's doing
hired.
well. So
Yeah, and it's fun. Like it's funny because the coach that's there now, I feel is like the opposite of that,
yeah,
right?
completely.
Like I think Dallas Eakins, for whatever you think of his ability as a coach, sometimes is almost like he cares about people. He seems like the type of person that goes out of his way to be almost too careful. But like not a bad way to deal with things as an individual. I don't know if it gets you success.
Yeah, absolutely right. I met
Coach,
him a couple of times. It's all about mindset, about
very much
communication,
so.
relationship. He bonding the team very well. He learned from them. He mentioned to me one time. I personally him in at the NHL. He said, "I learned so much about Edmonton. That's who I am today. Is because I took a 1 year backwards and to reevaluate what I did wrong and what I need to learn, what I need to get better."
I
And
remember him saying
he
that.
never mentioned about hockey. He was all about read
Learning.
books, learning from great coaches, and
Yeah,
the way to carry on this. So great. And remember, Michael, when he got hired, we was not, we was curious about how long he's going to be still there, how long he would be behind the bench. It's maybe a transition between the team they have nobody there. He can pick it up the bad stuff, and then they will put him out when the team will be better. And finally, now I believe he started his third or fourth season now, Michael.
yeah, yeah. And I don't know if like I think as an individual, it just he seems like a good person that way, and
Yep.
he cares. And sometimes he's a little too how do you put it? You know, he's very ethereal, but he's very thought out. And I can see why it's hard not to respect him, and he works hard and he tries to include players. So it's interesting that would be the guy that the general manager would hire and keep for so long. Such a weird
That's a
mix.
game credit, Michael, because Anaheim with the lineup they have, he found
Yeah,
a way to make them produce. You have
yeah,
to
he's
give him
trying.
this.
Yep. All right. Well, let's keep hiring better people. I don't know if you saw the Hockey Hall of Fame inductions. I was looking at. We haven't really talked about this.
It's November 8th.
Yeah. So let's see the players. Let's see. Hall of Fame, Hockey Hall of Fame helps. I know Ken Holland is on that list. I know Jerome McGinley's on that list. I'm trying to think of is Doug Wilson? No, was that last year? Let's take a look. And then they quote Bob Murray on Doug Wilson saying it was over
Yeah.
there. Star. I think that's so. I was trying to think of who else was in it. There was Kim St. Pierre. Oh yeah, Kevin Lowe, Marian Hossa. So that's really interesting, Marian Hossa. So I think that's a pretty interesting class. Like, we forget how good Doug Wilson was as a player. He's been a GM for a long time. Kim St. Pierre, like one of the great players on Team Canada. So I think that's an amazing story. Kevin Lowe, obviously,
Goaltender.
what's that?
Goaltender.
Yeah, goaltender. Like she was a great part of those um, gold medal teams, and some really dramatic games against the U.S. Kevin Lowe, I saw the ceremony retiring his jersey, and I didn't realize he's married to a skier. I don't know if I remember what's her name, Karen Percy. I didn't
Yep.
realize that was his wife. So she was a bronze medalist twice at the Olympics for Canada. And then Jerome McGinley, I think, I don't know why there's not more being made out of this. I mean, he had a phenomenal career. If you're looking for a guy that is, a great ambassador for the game, like Jerome McGinley, this is a great story. And he played on a bunch of teams. And then Marian Hossa, same thing. Like another really good citizen had to retire really only because of the crazy skin condition he had.
Both of them got disappear, right? And
Yep.
get hiding in Boston area now.
Yeah.
It was for the kids, for the family, everything like that.
Right.
Mostly also, unfortunately, the injuries
Yep.
put him out.
It was a skin condition of all things that put him down. Such a big, durable guy, and that was the thing that messed him up. And then Ken Holland, like I think they said he's like the fourth winningest GM or something ever.
Yeah, possible.
Jeez, that's crazy. And I think he was in Detroit total of like 36
Yeah.
years and now he's got a shot to do something special in Edmonton. So that'll be interesting to see what happens there. So I think this is a great induction class. I was actually kind of excited to see that group. And you mentioned Joe McGinley. His son is a 2006 born player playing, I believe, at one of I think he moved to Rink Academy. So he's up for draft in the WHL. We were talking about him last night, actually. So he's kind of I think he's like a top 30 guy. So that's kind of neat to see his kid. All right. So with lots of games last night, Pierre, let's start with Detroit. Edmonton starts rookie goalie Stuart Skinner, former WHL goaltender. I didn't think Skinner played bad. He actually had a lot of shots last night. I think he had like 30 or 35 shots, I think, against them. He looked pretty good, but Detroit obviously took advantage of this. Namestnikov, who's never been a big goal scorer, is now, I think, got 6 or 7 goals. Yeah, 7 goals. So he's going to score 40 goals this year, Peter?
I don't know, you're right, but someone he was almost get out of the team, and people does not want him. He show again he can play hockey. He's a veteran in NHL for many years, played fun team, Tampa Rangers, Ottawa, everything like that, and he show up, and then it's funny because honestly, he never been a scorer of 20 goals until like 5 years ago, maybe 6 years ago, and you're hanging there and find a way to produce a bit at the right time for them. So it's another great story in Detroit with others.
We saw the return of Dylan Larkin. I thought that was a big shot in the arm for them. We had Jesse Puljujärvi and Connor McDavid score for Edmonton, but actually Nedeljkovic played very well last night. Like, he made some big saves and he kept Detroit ahead in this game. So I thought he played very well. He faced 31 shots. And then we saw Moritz Seider score again. So I don't know if that was an empty netter. I think it might have been. Can't remember. Is that an empty netter?
Yeah. Which one?
Was Moritz Seider's an empty? No, I think he shot from the point. Was it empty?
No, he was an empty net.
Oh yeah, it was the other goal.
He did not pass back. Someone was carrying the puck, and he did not pass the puck to Namestnikov. He passed the puck to Seider.
Did for the hat trick?
Yeah. So he was a 3-versus-1. And he passed the puck Seider, and Seider shoot the puck, he score, and then Seider went to see Namestnikov say, I'm sorry, he gave me the puck.
Oh, I didn't see that. Oh, I forgot that. Okay, yeah, no, that's right. I don't know why I thought that was the game before. I watched it late last night. All right, so good game for Detroit. I didn't think that Skinner looked that bad, actually. They might actually have a really good goalie prospect there. I think his save percentage was actually pretty high that game, which was weird, right? He had a .921 save percentage, so he faced a lot of shots last night.
They talk very well this morning about him. Fact, like, matter of fact, he was not. He was the coach. Dave Tippett mentioned like they really like him a lot. He grew a lot. He become matured as a professional, and he worked a lot during the off season. So he said that he really liked the way he's performing. He said, look, he would like to risk, like anybody else, make a mistake on the log and goal. But he said overall he had a good performance for us yesterday. So we was flat. We did not play the level we should play. But we have to give credit for the Detroit Red Wings. They play a good game, and it's happened during the season.
Yeah. It was obviously an off game. They've been on a 4-game winning streak. And don't look now, but Detroit is actually got a pretty good record. It's interesting because in the power rankings, they're still bottom 4 or 5. But they're 7-5-2 of 571, and they're like, it's a weird division, but right now they're in the playoffs ahead of Tampa. So I don't know. I don't necessarily believe this is going to be the way it's going to end, Pierre, but it's interesting. It's a good start for them. They've played 14 games. That's probably part of it. It's because they have a few more points just because they have a couple more games, but this is actually surprising me. I'm kind of surprised.
If you look about this, like Eastern, right? The Rangers second. Yeah, they should not be there. It's funny. I will tell you one thing. I'm more concerned about the Rangers to the Detroit.
Because we have expectations of the Rangers. The backup.
I will tell you why. Because I really, I study a lot of gaming and all that. The only reason Rangers is there right now is because Chesterkin. So my question, can Chesterkin have 40 game when they outscore every single game? And the only reason they did not lose more is because Chesterkin have an amazing, great season. And remember, they are -4 on differential. So all that Bill Michael
Yeah.
is again the Rangers versus the record at that moment. So I
And
know say they are not, and the Metropolitan, this division Metropolitan is very not a easy division. So
no.
for me, is a team can have to be a little bit careful before we. It's they have the older player have to step up, Michael.
Well, I mean, this shows you what it could be without him, because this guy's got a 426 and an 862. I think that that's part of the goaltender, but it's also the team. And I think the fact that this guy has such a high save percentage, so he's averaging 34. Look at this, 10 games, 346 shots, Pierre.
Yeah, 35 per game, and they are dangerous.
That's crazy.
Yep.
That's 10 too many. So
yep.
that
and
shows
he's still hanging at 931.
Right. And if you look at Georgiev, he's very similar. He's like 30 plus shots a game. So this is not the way that they're not going to win long-term playing that way. I just don't see it.
My point is, like, if you have one team, I think they try a better chance to hang in there. And for them, it's pretty good because right now, Ottawa, Montreal, and Buffalo are not good. So they have a chance to hang in over them. They have a chance to finish maybe 5th in the division over there. And Boston, whatever they win yesterday, is a team is not performed very well right now. Boston.
They're missing Krejci and they're missing Rask, right? Like, it just shows, like, as good as they are overall, the difference between them being really, really, really number one in the league, which they were last couple years, and that.
The good thing about this, I will tell you, everybody, Rask going to sign with Boston the next couple of weeks. He's already at the facility, Boston, right now, practice with them. It's a question of time. Do not be surprised happening. They'll put Swayman outside, or maybe Ulmark, but expect Rask to sign with them at some point.
Corey, first of all, Rick Robitaille, we're not beating up on your Oilers. I like the Oilers. I've always liked the Oilers, but Detroit is my primary. So I think they just started a young goalie. They didn't play very well. You don't let a young goalie go in and let him face 35 shots. So that's part of the problem. Go Caps Go. Good morning. Thank you for joining us. Corey Hill says, I'm surprised that Daniel Alfredsson isn't in the Hall of Fame. Me too. I actually think that he's got a good point.
Absolutely right. Is over 1,200 points, I believe, in NHL. Have the same kind of number like Maurice Richard, David Tredshock, and everything like that. I did not look the vote, how many retired 14, so he's eligible for the last 2 years. We know COVID-19, Michael was distracted. Did not do anything. So it's just question of time. I believe he's going to be in the next 3 years. They will be back. And the class, because it was 1 year behind, Michael, they have so many people inside of that was a little bit better. But it's question of time. Nobody in 30 years, Michael, been with them as a Hall of Fame for the Ottawa Senators. So it's just a question of time. But great question.
It's weird because it wasn't like Ottawa at one point, if you go back 100 years, was like the original powerhouse team. Was it Frank McGee? Was that the big player in Ottawa? I can't remember, but there's a guy that you would think would be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. But yeah, for sure, Alfredsson, I think, deserves the opportunity to be in the Hockey Hall of Fame. Moritz Seider and Lucas Raymond are unbelievable. Future of the Wings is bright. I agree. I mean, I think it's good news. They're way ahead of where I would have thought they were. I think that, they did a good job of downplaying what to expect of them. And they've both come in and they've been given the opportunity and they've kept the opportunity. Raymond overall, real good numbers. Seider has far exceeded what I thought he was going to do.
I'll be honest with you. I prefer Seider at Raymond.
I mean, I don't think you have to choose because they're both in the same team in different positions.
No, but my point to you is like I'm more impressed by what Seider is doing right now at Raymond because the way he played the defense, he's the next Victor Edmond on my eyes.
Yes, I think you're right, Pierre. I think you are right, and nobody saw it but Stevie Yzerman.
Yep. It was funny you said that because I was going to tell you how many times the people complained to him about his selection as a sixth overall pick.
It's worked out pretty good. The fourth
Yeah.
one's turned good. The sixth has turned good. These are his two picks, and they're looking
And we
really
have
good.
Edvinson's coming soon.
And Edmondson is going to be just as good, I bet.
It'll be a great duo over there. And you talk about a 6'6", a 6'4", or something like that. That's pretty
6'4",
amazing.
6'5". Yeah, both are big.
Yeah.
Yeah. Eagle Fang, he's a big fan of the current Red Wings. He says they're a couple pieces away. When Dylan Larkin's healthy and Bertuzzi's in the lineup and the young guys, we still haven't seen Verona. And Verona looked like last year, I'm like, this might be the best player in Detroit. He's definitely the most skilled next to Lucas Raymond. And if you look at his numbers, they were just as good as Anthony Mantha, and he stole him from Washington.
They remind me a little bit Detroit right now, how Ottawa was last season. Like
Maybe,
no
yeah.
expectation, no pressure, and the system they apply right now, Detroit is really go with the player they have also. So I believe it works very well for them. I don't know. At that moment, Michael, I don't see them fall apart. Like go from where they are to go all the way down at the bottom. I don't see that. Or be a team can be at the between 18 to 23, 24 max. I don't see that thing was going to be fall apart. They have they on the 14 game they have. I think I don't know their final record right now. They have but at the end of the day, the only team they play bad again is against Montreal. And they have one game also. They got another one, but that's pretty much it. So maybe 3 games of the 14 they play so far.
You're right.
I think you have to give him credit for what he's doing right now. So that's pretty exciting. By the way, yesterday, for another milestone, Sam Gagner played his 900 game in the NHL, and he reached his dad, Dave Gagner, with over 900. They have only 5 family in the NHL. Did that, the dad and the son. So you talk about, so a congratulations for him.
Yeah, I just wish Sam Gagner was able to score like his dad. His dad can't really score. His dad is I don't know if you know, those outdoor rinks.
Yep.
He builds he was one of the first guys to build those outdoor rinks out of Milton in Ontario.
Yep.
And beautiful outdoor rinks with all the piping and the boards and the nets. It's pretty impressive. It's kind of neat. And yeah, Kelly, I think I'm frozen here. Oh no. Oh, I was frozen. Sorry. Kelly said that Lucas Raymond and Sider are key. I agree. Stuart Skinner had a horrible error yesterday. Yes, he did, but he's a rookie goalie. I thought he looked pretty good. Kakko should be traded. If Kakko played in Carolina, he would be much better. I would take Kakko yes, maybe. I think similarly, he's young. We got to remember that. He's behind a lot of players. And we see this with Lafreniere. We want both those guys to play because they're capable. And I think the risk you run is that you bury them like someone like a Sam Gagner or a Sam Bennett got buried in Calgary, and then they leave and they produce. And that is possible. I don't know how long you can keep these guys down. Be interesting to see. I'm a fan of the Bolts. Yeah, who isn't? I think that an outsider's thought. Okay, well, I think you don't have to worry too much about Tampa, Pierre. I think they're savvy and they're pacing themselves. Their end is make the playoffs and then make a run. And whether they can do it or not remains to be seen, but that's kind of their game plan. So we saw Boston win last night. You mentioned 3-2. They're 6-4-0. Good game by Swayman overall. We saw Matt Murray back in last night, and he actually played pretty well. 917 save percentage, 926 save percentage, lots of shots.
Well, the funny thing is the Patrice Bergeron goal. I don't know if you saw that or if we heard about that, but Patrice Bergeron scored with 2 broken stick on the ice. One, the pass touched the stick, and then the go in, and it was like funny thing happened on the ice. So it's rare you have 2 breaking stick at the same time on the same play. And Patrice Bergeron scored again. They score on power play. Brett Marchand scored finally. And Basnak, they gave to Marchand the goal at that moment, but at the beginning it was Basnak. Now they got him. And they're doing well. And the only way they win Boston for years, Michael, is go always the same people, Marchand, Bergeron.
Yeah. Line. And these guys don't stop, right? Actually, the guy that's been really quiet this year is Pasternak.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what's up with that. And I hope that the guy's playing very well.
He had 9 points already, right? But again, he did not create a lot. So
That's a good point. He's got like
yeah, 8 point right now because
I
they
think it's
gave the
9
goal to
actually.
him. But yeah,
Yeah, but I think that assist isn't showing up. Oh, maybe it is.
yeah.
Is
No,
it
no,
taken?
it was his
It is
goal
taken.
at the beginning. It was full goal. Now they gave him an assist, so that's goal back at 8 point. But
Got it.
yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. That's pretty good when you can
it's
get
rare.
8 points.
You said 8 point. That's pretty good.
It's pretty
But you're
good.
looking for him to be a scorer, right?
Big
It
time.
should be 5 goal, 3 point. But
Yeah.
we don't talk the same way, right?
But it just shows you it's like watching Mitch Marner and you're like, where is this guy? And then all of a sudden he's got a point a game again.
Yeah.
All right.
The key for me, Michael, is the concern Ottawa. Now they lost 5 straight, I believe.
Yeah, that's rough.
I don't know the system with DG Smith. I don't think so. They'll be far. These people start to talk like that way over there. But I think the problem there is just complaining a little bit for me. It's more about the goaltending situation, unfortunately.
The goalie played
Everybody
well.
there. And they have right now also they play with 5 player, Michael, out for COVID. So
Right.
Sokolov played yesterday
Yeah.
for them because missing too many players. So it's sad, but and they have to play Michael 7 defensemen if I can recall it, and it will be yeah. And then you have a big check of Brown on Frederick yesterday, and Frederick had to leave the game
I don't know.
in that game. Yeah,
I mean, this is a pretty good performance by Matt Murray if he can keep doing this. But again, it goes back to you can't let 35 shots. It's a game of percentages, right? Like
yeah,
36 shots in a game, you're not going to win a lot, especially against a team like Boston. And Swayman had pretty good numbers. Most of the shots against him were on, like, only 17 even strength shots against him. So that's pretty good defensive effort by Boston. That's tough. And that's a close game in the end. So if Matt Murray can keep playing like that, great. I guess we'll find out if that's the case. He looked good early. LA is now what, on 6-game winning streak?
yeah.
I'm not surprised because when I went to watch their camp and I watched the prospects and they had a really good camp. They had lots of competition, lots of depth. We know that they had major injury, obviously, to Doughty. He's out for a while. And then I think is it Walker that went down next? So that was pretty bad. They had 2 of their top 3 defensemen out. But suddenly they've peeled off 6 wins and they're back in the mix here. It's an overtime win, so Montreal gets a point. Kind of crazy. Like they've clawed their way back in. So they're 7-5-1 and 577. So I guess we always have to be careful when it's early in the season. And the other, what's crazy too, Anaheim 5 wins in a row, Pierre. So they were 2-4 and now they're 7-4. So I don't know, something's going on. I don't know if it's just a favorable schedule.
Yeah. So what happening this part is that's why it's playing. They lost again. Minnesota Wild, St. Louis Blues, Winnipeg Jet, but they beat Montreal, Buffalo.
Right.
They go in overtime and shootout against St. Louis. They go in overtime. They beat New Jersey. Now the big game of that round right now is only Toronto, honestly. So
That was a big win.
you have to win anyway, whatever the team,
Yeah.
right? I understand that, but I think you're absolutely right about this. It was just confirm what you just said. Depends sometimes who do you play at the beginning.
Yeah.
Like Montreal, they not play against Carolina, Florida, and
Yeah.
you know what I mean. Like they not play again in Montreal, and now they play Calgary Thursday. So you have to be a little bit careful when you start that part over there. But you're absolutely right. But I think for me, Yafalo and Kempe is doing well for them. I think Kempe, Michael, is more about the consistency with him. But he's a great hockey player in my eyes. He's really dominate right now with Kopitar and Brown. And then Yafalo play very well with Dano. Now Adanasio is with them on the line. Big check of Dustin Brown. We don't see check like that, Michael, a 3 versus 3. It's really rare you see a check like Dustin Brown. It was a Dustin Brown 10 years ago. 3 versus 3. The coach does not want you to hit.
No, because
you raise too many space on the ice, and it's not to play for that. He did it, and Suzuki was the head down, and he was like a monster hit about that one there. Romanov did the same thing to Kupari. It's only second as the momentum of Montreal shift at that moment. And unfortunately for Montreal, it's another game where they play only 40 minutes, and you have to play 60 minutes. You have only 2 periods per game. I think Montreal will have like 7-5, 7-7. But they got 1 point. But he was excited third period and excited overtime. Calvin Peterson was solid in front of the net. And I really like Kempe, honestly. Yaffalo started goal
Yeah,
against Montreal
Foles having a
Canadiens
great.
the last two game against them. So
It's interesting. Kupari, I think, has been a big part of this because again, they didn't dress Velarde last night. He's out. It seems like he's out of their plans at the moment. He had a really good camp. I don't know what happened, and then not good start to the first 5 games. They bring up Kupari, and his speed, his consistency was a big difference maker for them. And I think
yeah,
that
and
helped.
also Michael he plays center, right? So
Right,
that helped a little bit his situation
exactly.
over there. And I think Kelly ran out by his
Oh
snipe,
yeah,
by his shot. He played with Lizette Lemieux.
right.
That's help over there.
Yep.
Jake Allen, unfortunately, did not perform well. But on the flip side, he make an amazing, great save back to back. The King dominate the second period, really. 17-5 shot. Danov got still, and Allen was amazing. But again, he gave, it was a good shot of Brendan Lemieux at the top corner, but I think Allen did not get out the crease and he dropped down a little bit too fast. And then again, the turnover is a 6 second at the beginning of the third period. Yaffalo took again David Savard like a yellow cone, and he scored like a wrist shot. And then Jake Allen again was not ready for that one. So um, winning Michael in NHL, you need a goaltender.
Oh my God,
You
obviously,
have
no,
no reason. If you don't have no goaltender, you're not going to
it
win in
happened.
NHL. And with all the respect I have for Jake Allen, feel he step up because Carey Price is not there. But when a big goaltender, Michael make the big save at the right time
Changes
and make
things.
it fun at the end of the night. And unfortunately,
Absolutely.
he could not do anything again. Cam beat Jake Evans around, and he come back and OT score. But that's the reason why. But go Credo to Lesson King, and that's because I'm French Canadian, but I have to give respect for all the people at the Bell Center. Standing ovation for a couple of minutes for Philip Dano. Well done,
That's
well.
nice.
Whatever they boo him after that, it's not a problem. They did the right things about that. Congratulations,
Yeah.
because he gave his heart when he
Yeah.
played for the Montreal
He
Canadiens
wanted to stay.
with respect. It was his choice to leave. I respect him. He's doing well. He's happy, and we wish the best.
The best young players all skate well. And this is a good point by Yarmo. Kako maybe is a little choppy. How much of this is playing into it, I don't know. I mean, health has played an issue. He seems to be able to score. I think he'll be fine if he gets the opportunity. But right now,
I'm
there's
worried, Michael,
about his skating
about him. I
in
watched him
general.
3 games now. That last week against Vancouver, the game against the Calgary, Edmonton, and then I watched him again Monday night, and I'm really worried about him. He looked bad. Like it's everything he does, Michael, is hard. Like he's behind. He tried, but again, I'm not saying he's not going to, but geez, he struggled.
Yeah, and he's a young player, and he was touted for his leadership and his power forward, and he's a good center, and I think he's gonna be fine. Um, but it's just a deep team in the end. Like he's got a lot of guys playing ahead of him, and they want to win.
On the flip side, Farrell make a good comments about this. That he's laughing, but at the end of the day, you have to play 82 game at the schedule, and sometimes you have to take advantage of that part of that. The team I could play against Vegas right now, they take advantage of Vegas. But when you go play Vegas in February, now you're going to have a fun team now, and it's not going to be the same way. I think Adam have a big question about the face-off earlier.
Yeah. So to answer your question, Adam, before, if you have a player that's thrown out of the face-off, and then you bring another player, and that player's thrown out, I believe there's a penalty now.
Yeah, two ways on the face-off. So, so the first, like explained Michael, or it's not another player. It could be the same player create the same infraction. So, you have a rules about if you're on the defensive side, the other player put the stick first, and then the second player put there, and when he put there, the puck drop. Now, if they are not in the rules, the linesman put you out, or they will put his arm up. It will set infraction left, center, and he can keep him in end the face-off for the next one. And then if he create another the same infraction, now he get the penalty, like Michael said. The second infraction, Michael, on the face-off is the buck drop and the player foul, and he does a pass with the hands
Oh, right.
um, to any player of his teammates, right? And now you get a penalty about that one there. On the defensive side, also, that's the only way you can have penalty on the passing with the hands on the defensive side, and he works, of course, on offensive. But after you get a face-off, you cannot pass the puck with your hands. It's a rule in the NHL. So that's the two way you can get a penalties on the face-off. It's rare, like you said, Adam. One got it. We got another one this season. I can recall. I don't remember who. I think we have 3 so far this season.
Yeah, it's a weird one. So we have about 6-7 minutes here before the top of the hour. Florida last night looked like they were okay, but kind of a struggle night for young goaltender again. Andreas Johansson, don't look now, but he's got 6 goals. Pavel Zacha's got 6 goals. Dawson Mercer gets his 4th assist, so I think he's up to 7 points in 10 or 11 games. So there's some good news stories. Alexander Holtz got his first point last night, so he gets his first assist, so that's good news for them if he's getting on the board a little bit. Owen Tippett scores, so I'm surprised it's only his 3rd goal here, actually. I thought he scored a little bit more already. And then Sam Bennett getting his 5th. That was the wraparound goal at the beginning. He's now got, oh my God, how many goals does he have? He's got 11.
Only 5 right now. He missed about 3 games. He come back yesterday, scored right away for them. I think for me, it's the Ty Smith. Ty Smith become the first youngest defenseman with 3 points since Scott Niedermayer. So congratulations, Ty Smith. 1 goal and 2 assists yesterday.
Great game for him.
About that one over there. Yeah, but again, bad performance overall for the Panthers. That's a back-to-back loss.
Yeah,
and that's happening to them.
This is a really good game. Jordan Binnington played great last night if you watched it. Actually, I thought Hellebuyck played really well too. This came down to a shootout between St. Louis, and in the end, it was Binnington that won the shootout. We saw goals from Kyle Connor is so dangerous, Pierre. Gets his 9th goal of the year. Jordan Kyrou continues to produce points. Did he have 3 points or 2 last night? I think he had 2. And the only goal was in the shootout was Ryan O'Reilly. So Snook scores in the shootout. He's deceptively good. He's got great hands. He makes like 20 moves usually. So good win for St. Louis and an extra point.
It was all about the Jets yesterday. The Bennington saved Bennington. Bennington saved over 40 shot yesterday face, and it was all about his 41 versus 22 shot, I believe, during the game. So
33
just Bennington was there. The Blues was looking behind most of the time. But again, on OT, St. Louis should win that game. Lebac was solid during the OT. But again, like also during the only 1 goal and 8 shot during that OT.
This was actually a bit of a goalie duel last night, like 33 shots for Hellebuyck. And if you watched it, he played really well. And then 41.
First, it was, rusty, right? He came back for the first game since like over 10 days now. So
yeah, but this only one of both teams scored in the shootout. So these guys both played really well. It just came down to Binnington winning that battle. All right, so let's see. So we've got through that game. We had some later games. Chicago, Pierre, wins again. Jeff Carter pops a couple goals, but it's not enough. Seth Jones gets his first goal, and then in the shootout, Alex DeBrincat finishes it.
I'll be honest with you, Michael. The first time I see Montreal can win this year, a couple more games, because Chicago looked terrible. It's ugly.
Yeah, and Pittsburgh, I think, is settling back to life. Like they need to get.
They try everything, but it's the 2 teams. Like you can see, they are below average when you watch for the game. Right, so many games. Chicago. For me, I'm impressed because someone asked a question about Zed Jones earlier. About what you think about Zed Jones. But look, the kid have like 1 goal, 12 assists right now, 13 points.
Oh yeah.
So totally. He's doing well. Fleury is good for him to get a W. Big smile after the game. Jeff Carter called 2 goals for them.
Yeah.
And then they could win this game and OT 3 times. Kane touched the puck 3 posts during the OT. 2 versus 0 him and DeBrincat, and Kane finished it with a post. at the end. I was so scared they cannot come back, but they finally and shoot out, they get it. And Jonathan Tays, I don't know why. He only scored on breakaway on in 5-0. And I don't know why the goalie doesn't know that. Like
He
he only
opens
when
them
he
up
scored
every
is a 5-0 for years. And he did it.
Just quickly, Flames lose. Aiden Hill makes 37 saves, so another big goaltending night for someone. 4-1 Sharks over Flames. Jonathan Dolan gets the empty netter at the end. Jonathan Dolan has 6 goals on the season. He can sure score like his dad. Andrew Mangiapane gets his 8th. They actually originally gave this to Lucic. It looked like he had his 5th, but then they corrected it.
Yeah.
Barbanoff gets his 1st. Barbanov's actually played pretty well. I think he's fit in well over there. I think he's just going to over time continue to contribute offensively. Like, he's a real good skater and he's played well for them. I think they've got a couple guys like this that have really stepped up. But a good game for Sharks, and the Sharks are doing well on the season. They beat a pretty good team.
Again, it's another team missing 7 players yesterday because of COVID. So you have to give
Calgary?
credit for that one over there. Bad performance for the Flames. It's not happening a lot. But again, like yesterday, you can Florida get it. Edmonton did it. It was the night with a lot of surprise. I'll be honest with you. And he'll have a difficult year, and then finally got his third W of the year. But he struggled for the last couple of games, and now he finally got that W over there. For it's good for him to get this. You can see the number he got.
That was a rough one.
Yeah, you have the last 3 games, like whatever he gained, he win the.
Yeah.
So good for him because he really did not perform since he got a shootout against Montreal Canadiens 5-0. It's a team, it's a mix of player, right? The
Mix,
older, younger, and the younger doing well over there. And again, missing a lot of pieces of the puzzle. But it's funny because all the 3 teams right now, they are 3rd, 4th, and 5th in the Atlantic Division.
Interesting. Anaheim, despite the controversy during the day, they respond with a win, Pierre. So suddenly they've won 5 games in a row. They're 7-4. So this is kind of interesting. Comtois gets his first assist. He's been a real slow starter, but not Troy Terry. 12 points in 12 games.
It's all about Terry and Geslav over there and John Gibson. They are the 3 tranquil players over there. And that's it. Yeah, nothing else. The rest is all about them, around them. And for me, it's great you mentioned this. I look more for the another team, the Vancouver Canucks. A lot of question over there, but a pretty amazing, great story about Troy Terry.
Right here.
15 point, 13 game. Nobody saw this coming.
I didn't.
What about the captain, Ryan Keslav? Another great performance again with them. So, it's great to see a new team at the top in the league like them and like Detroit, everything like that. So congratulations to them, and fun. It's very fun to see this right now.
All right, and then finally, the Ducks are sneaky good. You might be right. Ulf, you're right, did play with the North Stars, but he also played with San Jose Sharks.
Yep.
So his son is playing there, but he played there also. He started with the Rangers, actually, which people don't realize. Before he went to Minnesota, he started with the New York Rangers. I think he had 28 goals as a rookie or something. Like,
Yamo is a Steeler.
What's that?
I say Yamo is a Steeler. He pick all the players in the fantasy hockey.
Yeah, Yarmo's got some sneaky good skills too.
Yeah, that's what he does.
Good night for Vegas last night. Peter Angelo gets on the board. Dadonov scores his 3rd. Riley Smith pots a couple, and Theodore gets an assist. Peter Angelo gets an assist. Marchessault playing real well. We know they got players out, but they responded last night. Yanni Gord and Jordan Eberle scores again his 7th, so he's doing all right. That's turning out to be a pretty good pickup for Seattle, but they remain in the loss column. Chris Drieger, 826 save percentage, not really getting it done last night. Only faced 23 shots, Pierre. So a rough night for him. 926 save percentage for Leonard. So once again, goaltending being the deciding factor. Somehow we got through all the games, Pierre.
We missed the Carolina and Tampa Bay. You showed it. You showed the page, but you did not talk about this. But great performance, Carolina, Michael. Vasilevsky was hot yesterday. I don't know. That's fun. 20 shots fun between both teams, I believe. But But again, Martin Nikash starting to get hotter and hotter. Third goal in the last 4 games, I believe. D'Angelo continues, but again, it's Martin Nikash and OT. After a bad play, I don't know if you see the score, and they and OT before that, and they disallow the goal because they're outside of the blue line, Michael. And then they come back and they win again. So congratulations for them about that. For Carolina beat earlier Eagle talk about his team and they return that. It's going to be a big battle between Carolina and of course the Florida Panthers and the Tampa Bay. Unfortunately, they are not the same division, but again, still, they remember last season. So good to see this at about that. And D'Angelo, 11.11 game.
Crazy.
That's a good thing about that. A couple of people talk about this. Seattle need a better coach. I don't know.
We'll keep an eye on it. It's a new team. He's a teacher. He had this problem in Philly.
Michael's like this. It's like good, sometimes I'm just like, wow. Sometimes like you need a better coach. Put the best coach right now. A coach, guys, a reputation of coach is what you have with the horse in front of you.
Right.
It could be anybody. If your horse don't show and they don't play, it's not going to change anything. Unfortunately, it is what it is.
They don't have superstar players on this team. Like, who's the star?
Yeah, I mean,
we knew this when they drafted this team, Pierre. It's like they're just good enough to not be good. Like, now this was a problem in Carolina for a long time. Is this going to be the problem in Seattle?
But again, they play yesterday, Michael, exactly what they look like. 4-2, 3-2. 3-1, 3-2. It's going to be like this all year long. They play exactly who they are. That is nothing wrong there. That's what they are. They don't have a Terrasian coach. They don't have an Ovechkin. They don't have a Stamkos. They don't have that kind of sniper I'm talking about.
Yeah. Lemaire would whip him into shape. I don't know. I think in the end that this team was built to not be great. They're built to be competitive.
It's a 500 team, 480. That's it. That's what they are. That's what we expect. And I think they are what they're supposed to be. That's nothing wrong there. And,
that's the team's choice. Because
if you say, okay, why not change the coach? But you have to, why Montreal don't change the coach? But in 2 months, if you the new coach don't perform, the way you do, you change again the coach. It's like it's not the way you do in hockey. It's you have to be patient and you have to respect what's going on in front of you. For me, it's like it's an easy answer all the time. Change the coach, change the coach, change the coach. Now, DJ Smith have an amazing, great year last season. Why this team is 3-8-1? Now we change DJ Smith. It's not the way to do that in hockey. You have to be patient. You have to be realistic. It's a long run. And unfortunately, you have 32 teams. You're going to be the 10 are great. You have 20, 16 of them will be average, and then you're going to be the bottom 6 over there.
It's hard to win in the NHL, right? There's so much parity in the NHL. Any team, you see teams were like expecting to miss, and they got plus 500 records. So you can't. And to your point, like if a couple pieces are missing, the goaltending's not up one night. Like last night, Drager didn't have a good game. They lose. Simple as that.
Parity in NHL, Michael, is so tight. It's so hard. It's not easy. And I can understand you fire some coach. It will happen in the next couple of weeks. I think the biggest for me right now is Vancouver. I think the Vancouver have to step up. If not Vancouver, and he's right about this. They're going to go in the draft pick, and that's what they want to do in Seattle, Michael. They want to go that direction, draft pick. And that's what they are right now. Johnny Golden, the more Chicago win, the better the Abs position. You're absolutely right about that. New GM in Anaheim. I'm not sure about that one over there. We have to wait the conclusion of the Bob Murray first. You know what I mean? We'll see happen about that one.
Anaheim is going to hire a woman.
I don't know what happened over there, but and I'm surprised, like Detroit right now, San Jose surprised. A lot of teams surprised right now. It's good for the hockey to see that new team at the top, Michael. Same way with Edmonton, Calgary. It's great. Carolina, Florida Panthers. By the way, guys, tonight, Arizona, Michael, play again the Minnesota Wild. and I got a picture of Chink Run and Brandon Durham, both two kids from South Florida, took a picture with Sidney Crosby at 10 years old, 11 years old. Both of them play together, the same team, and they be friends forever. And for the first time, they're going to play each other tonight. And for me, it's about the South Florida hockey. Um, 10 years ago, 20 years ago, you never thought you're going to find players from South Florida and NHL. So,
Yeah, I think that's positive. We see kids from LA popping through. Actually, this year for the 06s, a lot of LA Junior Kings kids that they've left LA, like Shattuck and Windy City. But when we're looking at our WHL draft, there's a lot of LA Junior Kings this time.
and what happened in Michael also? Florida and California,
Arizona.
all the ex NHL players
That's
stay
it.
there, and that's the key right there. Like Alex Tanguay's son play
Totally.
right now here, but he's 10 years old, right? And you saw the same thing happening,
Louis.
Michael, 15 years ago with Colorado. The head choke, the Adam Foot, everything like that. They all been over there in Colorado, and now you do the same thing happening right now. So all depend on that where he leave after that.
Yeah.
That's the situation happening. But you're absolutely right. How do my Wild lost against the Seattle? It's just like it's not easy to win night after night. Dave Tippett they said this morning it's not easy to win in NHL anymore. You have to be ready every single 2 days. And sometime you're going to have for 82 game, Michael, you try to get about 10 game, you flat, and then you try to play, 70, 75, 70 game where you need to win, compete all the time. So that's the reason about that one over there. I don't know. We miss other things. That enough is doing much better now. Why do you not do the same thing playing with Ottawa? Yeah, you know what, Curry? I'm not sure. He have only 3 goals over there, Michael, and he struggled. And he have so much, a ton opportunity. Cannot be in the first line. But that team right now, that's a question about that enough. Overall, you have a difficult year so far about that one over there.
Yeah, he's going to be a bit player, and they'll get goals from what they need.
Yeah, before we leave, welcome Dana Shump. But I want to tell you, everybody, don't forget to click on the like. That'd be awesome. And that's for us. We're going to be back tonight, 5 o'clock, in with the wake up, the warm up show tonight. And then tonight, first time of the year, we do the live stream Toronto Maple Leaf tonight. Again, the Flyers. I think it'll be the game of the night. Only 3 games in NHL tonight. So we're going to have an easy night for sure for hockey in NHL. So that's pretty much it for me.
Sounds good, Pierre. We'll see you tonight. Thanks, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate your participation.